Hello everyone and welcome to Helix Cloud Games. My name is Richie and this is SideQuest, a quick step off the critical path and a deep dive into one cloud gaming topic. On this week's show we're talking about what would you include in your Google Stadia starter pack, and joining me on this quest is the host of the Sounds of Stadia podcast, Mr. Chris.
Hello gamers, hope you're all well.
But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that bell icon for notifications when all of great shows drop, such as the Sounds of Stadia podcast each and every Monday on YouTube and podcast services, where you can also get this very show, our live streams every single Thursday, and any other crazy stuff we like doing. Like most recently, I have dropped a short review. It's a YouTube short, 1 minute long, on East 9. So if you want to know what my thoughts are on that game, or if you're curious about it, really appreciate you going and checking that out. So, Chris, Google Stadia starter pack. So,
this mythical starter pack.
So the idea is, let's paint the picture. You're new to Google Stadia. Someone you know is new to Google Stadia. They're going to you, Chris, what should I get?
What should I get?
Yeah. And when I say what should I get, we're assuming that we have control of Google Storefront so we can, like, change stuff. We can make our own bundles, whatever we want. This is like, if you're in your ideal, if you're going to go to someone, you should play Stadia, this is what you should get.
Yeah, it's probably something we've all, and many of our viewers and listeners have probably experienced actually with their own friends and family at some point over the last 2 years, 2.5 years or so, like trying to sell the dream of cloud gaming and Google Stadia. And I guess, yeah, if you were to take just a bundle, hardware, games, what would that kind of look like? I think we'll start with maybe the hardware, the necessities, the materials you need to get gaming. I don't think I would recommend them on a click-to-play link. Like, it's easy to do it, but I think in theory, if someone is trying something for the very first time, you want that hands-on experience of like something new. We've all had it before in our lives when we've experienced brand new technology face-to-face, whether that be a mobile phone, a console, a car. Having hands-on, there's nothing better than it, and seeing all the lights flip off and stuff come to life. So
yeah, I mean, in terms of just showcasing the tech, we both have Razer keychains, we both have modern phones. You could go, here's my keychain, here's my phone, here's Cyberpunk, have a play around for 10 minutes. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about this person is kind of like, I want to get into this ecosystem, how do I start?
I definitely think for a first one, you need a controller. You're going to need the Google Stadia controller. Yes,
absolutely. I agree with that.
And obviously, they could use it with a DualShock 4, an Xbox controller, a multitude of things, touch input even, but I don't think that's the best experience. I think one of the massive, massive saving graces of Google is the Stadia controller is an absolute beauty to behold.
I agree.
Whichever colour that you want, wasabi, clearly white. What's the black one called? Is it just black?
Just black.
Just black. And of course, unfortunately, the Founders ones are a rarity on eBay if you're lucky enough. So,
if you're video listeners, you can see it. If not, it's a dark blue. It's a really quite deep blue with orange highlights. It's beautiful.
And these were one of the first. I remember actually opening this for the first, not this one, the Founders Edition for the first time, and just thinking like, yes, it is another controller. It's very reminiscent. I'm a big PlayStation fan of having the two sticks symmetrical. I don't mind that at all. Again, I'm a big fan of the Xbox and stuff. All controllers feel natural in my hand, other than the Nintendo 64 or the Dreamcast ones, which are a bit wackier.
They're a bit out there, yeah.
A bit out there. The standard controller shape is great, and having played the amount of hours both you and me have put in a Stadia, I think it does the platform a disservice if you aren't experiencing it with a genuine Stadia controller, whichever colour.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. I think this is the most comfortable controller I've ever held in my life. I've never playing Stadia ever had. Sometimes when you're doing a long PlayStation session, you get this. Oh god, like you get fatigue in your hands.
Yeah,
never had it with a Stadia controller. Not once. The ergonomics in this thing are amazing. There is flaws with it. The triggers for me are way too light.
Yeah.
That sometimes when I first was playing Stadia, sometimes if you're a bit heavy-handed, you accidentally get an input, so the triggers could be improved in future generations.
Yep. I will say as well, the D-pad, as much as I do like a good click, very, very loud. If you're trying to play next to somebody, that gets very irritating very quick.
The clickiness of a D-pad is, I think it's a mixed thing. Like, I like a clicky D-pad. I like the responsiveness, and this has a really good response. Other controllers where the buttons feel a bit mushy, you don't get that precise input. Of course, this D-pad doesn't really do diagonals that well. So a lot of this stuff is very much your preference, but as a basic controller, so it doesn't have any advanced features like you get on a DualSense.
No, nothing does.
Really, really good.
Yeah. It does its job, and I do think if this is a Stadia starter pack, we're recommending. Yes, you could cut corners and just use an old controller from another platform, but I think for the best experience, treat yourself to the new tech. Choose the variety of 3 colours you've got to pick from. I do wish we would get some new colours soon.
While we're talking,
pick it.
Yeah, while we're talking colours, this brings up a little pain point I thought when we're looking at building this show, what there's going to be is Google need to sort their branding out between departments, because the colours for the Chromecast do not match with the colours for the Stadia controller, and they don't match with the colours from the Pixels. Like, guys, come on. Like,
so you're telling me a snow white Chromecast and a just black controller doesn't pair for you?
That would be fine, but it's like it's the white, so the white for the Chromecast with Google TV, which is the one you can get now. I think you can use a Chromecast Ultra if you can pick one up, but if you're buying nowadays, it's going to be Chromecast with Google TV, which is cheaper than the Ultra anyway.
Yeah. I do think at the end of the day it doesn't matter too much, because the Chromecast, once it's behind your TV, you're never going to see it again.
I know, it's the principle though. It's
I mean, the controller.
I'm just being picky here.
No, I guess the remote will still be out, and the remote will not be colour compatible. But
the white for the Chromecast is called Snow. For the controller, it's called Clearly White. I don't have the white Chromecast, so I can't be the difference. But I would assume that these are slightly different shades of white.
Not the naked eye. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
It's also a shame because for the Chromecast you have Sunrise, which is kind of like peachy colour, and Sky, which is the Chromecast I have, which is like a light blue, which you can't get in the Stadia controllers at the moment.
Yeah, I think we can agree there's some variety, but I guess to keep it without a starter pack.
In reality, you're getting Wasabi.
I mean, if you're smart, you're getting Wasabi. It's the much favoured colour. So I think, definitely get yourself a controller. Genuine official one, and probably pick them up cheap on eBay. There's that many Premier editions floating around. You could probably pick one of them up. Chromecast with Google TV, I do much prefer the newer, ridiculously named Chromecast. The remote is so good for navigating through the menus. I know, Richie, you don't actually use the remote that much. You just cast to the screen.
My remote ran out of battery like a month ago, and I haven't bothered replacing them, because I actually prefer the Chromecast the way I used to interact with my Chromecast Ultra, where I just cast to my phone. From my phone. That's how I interact with it. Yeah.
So I think it's just different lifestyles, isn't it? Like it's easy for me to go to my wife, there's a remote, use it, as opposed to you can go on your phone, you can try and cast it, and then she just wants to pick what's on the TV.
Well, I've had a Chromecast since like Gen 1 original Chromecast. Yeah, exactly, so I'm just so used to that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I suppose if you watch a lot more TV than I do, the remote I could see being a massive benefit.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, nobody uses the benefit. No one uses the voice control on it. No one uses the voice control on the voice assistant on there. Realistically, they're just brand choices. But I think if you're going to go for it, you might as well go for the newest Chromecast. Pair it with whatever controller colour you want. But I do think a starter pack, from a hardware perspective, is the latest bundle. It's still a bit weird on the website that the Premier editions are unavailable now, which we know because the Chromecast Ultra is defunct now.
Yeah, there's still a list. It feels like you could take them off now, Google.
Yeah, get rid of them. It's also not packaged very well. It's currently called the Play and Watch with Google TV package, which just is a terrible naming convention. But at the same time, we don't believe it comes in one bundle. They very much just post you a controller standalone,
Yeah.
and they post you a Chromecast standalone.
I don't mind that approach. It makes sense for them as a business because then they're not having to come up with a brand new packaging concept for this, which is package the controller, package the Chromecast. We'll send you them both.
Yeah.
It's probably more environmentally friendly in a lot of ways like that because they're not wasting packaging and stuff. But so I don't mind that. What I wish they'd do is put this in brick and mortar retail stores.
Yeah, we've said that time and time again. Have that physical presence.
The only thing you're missing is
aisle.
the Stadia controller, and again, just have this bundle pick up from your local like Curry's, PC World, or your regional equivalent.
Target. Yeah, whatever it may be, IKEA. It's because you build it yourself.
Yeah.
Give me a bright blue and yellow controller any day. But yeah, so I think that's it for hardware. Really, there's no. Like realistically, there's no other combinations that you can viably get direct from Google. But I think you could obviously access this as a starter pack. You could access it by going, there's an old DualShock controller, there's a PC or a laptop. Have fun. And I think you're getting a diminished version of how to play.
There's two potential things I want to bring in terms of hardware before we move away from hardware. Is one, the Ethernet adapter for Chromecast. Mm-hmm. Depending on your home Wi-Fi setup, it might be worth the tenner.
Yeah, only you would know that though.
Yeah, and the other thing is one that I personally invested in and you invested in as well is the Google what's it called? Google Wi-Fi mesh system.
That's bumping your price for a starter pack significantly though.
And my concept here is Google should offer this bundle that every time you add something, it adds a saving multiplier. Right. So everything you add gets another a couple of % off to encourage these extra purchases.
Yeah, there is the added benefit as well of if you get the Ethernet adapter whilst buying the Stadia pack, you get £10 off. So probably $10 off, equivalent €10 in your local place.
Is it usually 20 quid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 20 quid. It's expensive for what it is.
Yeah, so save £10 if you buy it at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you could probably find it cheaper as well if you shop around. One. I don't for my one upstairs.
The way my home network setup is, my Wi-Fi comes into basically where my TV is. So the distance between my Chromecast and my router is less than a meter.
Right.
So I just don't need that. There's no signal problems there. Mm-hmm. And for upstairs, I've got my mesh system. But
so starter pack then, controller, yes. Chromecast with Google TV, yes.
If you need it, if your TV isn't already compatible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's true. You might not even need the Chromecast. We should point that out. Yeah, I guess. Depending on your personal circumstances. So, Richie, let's get into the juicy stuff then, which is the games. If you're that hardcore, you're there for the games, right? Not just the new fancy cloud technology. We've got a massive list of games on the platform now. Obviously, this is all subjective; it's personal preference. But what would you say are some of your top picks for if you were just getting into it now? Where would you say? I mean,
well, you've
got to go pro,
account,
right?
With his new account, I think you do get a month Stadia Pro. Is it 1 month?
Yeah, 1 month free. 1 month free. Unless you get some fancy promo from somewhere.
So there's about 50 games for you to jump into. And honestly, if you're new to it, I might almost just leave it there.
Just go pro.
There's a lot of good games available on Stadia Pro at the moment. But let's talk about a few other games that are not currently claimable on Stadia Pro, just for the sake of argument. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a lot of this is subjective. You always see people online going, "Oh, what game should I play next?" It's I don't know you. I don't know what games you're into. Give it at least tell me what sort of games you're into, and then I might be able to point you in a direction I think is worthwhile for you. Mm-hmm. Biggest games I think on the platform, you've got the Ubisoft library.
Yeah, when we're talking AAA, there's certainly nothing we can recommend from this year that's came out outside of Rainbow Six Extraction, unfortunately.
Which is part of the Ubisoft library.
Yeah, so there's literally no... What are we in? We're in May now.
Yeah.
No, well, not now, but by the time the show goes up.
Well, it's worth actually pointing out with Ubisoft, if you do have Ubisoft games on other platforms, if you get Ubisoft Plus, you get Ubisoft Connect, and you can just pick up from where you left off on other platforms.
That's true, yeah. If you were rocking Assassin's Creed Valhalla on your PS4 and it's ran its course and you're thinking about either upgrading a little bit or maybe you want to play on the move, then yeah, that your file save will just transfer straight over to play on your phone through Ubisoft Connect.
Yeah. There is some actual absolute gems on Stadia, to be honest. Like, if you're a fan of RPGs, we've got things like Cyberpunk, we've got Dragon Quest. I do like the East series. I definitely think it's not for everyone, though. Mm-hmm. You've got Baldur's Gate 3 still in early access, so I'd probably hold off on that one, but it's worth mentioning it is there. Yeah.
You've got the classic Destiny 2 as well, free to play. So even regardless of Pro, you can jump in and just go explore the moon and everything like that.
Destiny 2 is a really good one as a showcase for the tech. This is literally what we use to showcase the tech. We both, day one, jumped into Destiny to kind of get a feel for the tech.
Yeah, that was my starter pack, was Destiny 2 and Samurai Showdown and Tomb Raider, maybe, I think.
Yeah, that was our first one for
Farming Simulator.
Pro. Oh, yeah, it was Samurai Showdown Farming Sim. Well, I think we're the first one for Pro, weren't they?
Yeah.
And Destiny.
Which is crazy to think that far back. But yeah, Destiny 2 is still one of like the most played games consistently, games as a service. Plenty of stuff on there. But yeah, I think Ubisoft games, the great thing, I guess, is probably, I'd say, if you're not inclined to check out Pro, check out the latest sales, because as a newcomer to the platform, there's going to be so much variety on there that's always on like a rotating sale. Maybe check back like once a week and something will tickle your fancy, guaranteed on a sale at some point or other.
At the time of recording, there's a Golden Week, which is a Japanese holiday sale on. So there's a lot of Japanese franchises that are currently on massive sales. Like Dragon Ball Xenoverse is 85% off, currently £5.99. Mm-hmm. I've actually just picked up Dragon Ball Kakarot, which I think was $14.99. Because I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan. It's like, it's not a game that I'd pay full price for, but for that price, like, okay.
Yeah, and if you want to hang fire, there's Ubisoft sales like every other month, maybe. I think I've picked up a good few games that I've already got on other platforms, but they're such a good price. I just think, like, you know what? Why not? We bought Rainbow Six Siege. I think I bought The Division when that was on sale.
Resident Evil Village is on sale right now.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla I picked up for, I think it was when it was £15 when they did that the Valhalla versus Watch Dogs deal. Anyone out there this week has probably picked up FIFA for $14.99 as well. So yeah, if you keep your eyes peeled, there's some absolute bargains to get on the platform, and that's not even including Stadia Pro, which comes with its whole list of other games. So yeah, if you've got that 1 month free, talk about a welcome starter pack with a list of games with this variety.
That's it. As I said, it's hard to actually advocate. So for someone like, I'm brand new to the platform, what should I jump into? What games to buy? I would say actually your best bet is Stadia Pro. You're getting literally around about 50 games. It definitely tipped over 50 games a couple of weeks ago. I haven't counted this as of recording. Mm-hmm. And beyond that, check out the sale, see if there's a specific game that you think is up your alley. But Stadia Pro has got such a wide range of games that you probably don't need it, and apart from taking advantage of sales. It's hard. It really is hard to go, you should go buy X game when you're just new to the platform.
Yeah, if you look at, so for the month of May, according to our friend InLead's Stadia Pro Games Monitor, May 2022, caveat at the time of recording, Google haven't officially given us the May Pro games, but he has included them because of the press release, so we do have the 4 May games included. There is 50 titles claimable, Richie. So that's 50 games to absolutely go crazy with as part of your starter pack on your 30-day free trial. 50 games, just like that.
So if you can play 50 games in 30 days, that's impressive.
You've not got a job.
Yeah. Or family. You go do something else. Go outside. It's nice out there.
And take your controller and Razer Kishi with you, and you can play there as well.
Yeah. You probably have to.
But again, we've said on previous SideQuests, haven't we? Like, the variety you get out of the Pro subscription alone is like, even if we went from May, so you boot it up and you go, right, what games are on Pro? I'm sure it's some crappy, rubbish indie games, whatever. And you go, oh shit, Outriders is on there. The new yearly fest pack drops next week. Oh wait, well maybe I'm into a different type of zombie game. World War Z is there to claim. Great. Go back even further. You've got where are we talking big ones?
We've had Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. We've had Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now. Control Ultimate is still there to claim as of now, and then you've got Grime, Killer Queen Black, Journey to the Savage Planet, Hitman is still on there. Plenty of little indie titles in between, of course. Saints Row's on there still, and everything in between. But yeah, I just think as starting as a starter pack goes, you got enough AAA there to kind of give it its merits, and then there's more than enough in between to fill hours and hours and hours upon fun. Just throw in a JRPG and you're already 100 hours in anyway.
Yep.
So yeah.
There is Final Fantasy 7, it's not 17, 15, which I have the platinum on PlayStation 4. It did take me over 100 hours to get it.
So there you go. Wonderful stuff. In regards to a starter pack then, it's kind of subjective to your choice, but yeah, I'd say pick yourself up, controller, Chromecast, give yourself a month or two of Pro maybe just to test the waters.
We haven't. I have brought it up slightly, but like, if you're looking at it and going, you know what, I'm looking at this. We're taking this we've been approaching this from like a console perspective. If you're like going, you know what, I want something to game on the move. I'm a handheld gamer. Something portable, like maybe the Stadia controller isn't your best move. Maybe something like a Razer Kishi or Backbone is. The one thing I would say with the Kishi is I do not think it's worth them anywhere near the MSRP. I just don't think the quality, the feel of it isn't there. But there is a lot of them out there in the wild. If you shop about on things like eBay or your Facebook Marketplace or things like Craigslist, you can pick up a bargain for an in-box brand new one, which is what I did.
Yeah, I got mine for £30 off Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, mine was about £30, where I think it retails for like £60. And I don't want to slam it too much. It's a perfectly adequate controller for what it is. It's priced way too high though. If you pick that up against another £60 controller like a DualSense, you immediately know the difference. The button's a bit mushy. I think the trigger's a bit squeaky almost in a way where. But if you can pick it up as get a bargain on it, it's very worth you pick up if you play on your phone.
I agree. But yeah, like I guess the whole thing with this is it's very subjective. I'm sure viewers and listeners, let us know in the comments below what your perfect kind of Stadia starter pack is, because there will be people out there, hundreds, thousands, millions of people who are yet to experience this cloud gaming platform, and someone at some point will lean on you maybe for a recommendation. And what would you say? What would you tell people to sign up to?
Well, again, we should also bring up, like, if you've got it on your TV already and you're just curious, I've got this thing on my TV, Stadia, I can play games on it. What's this about? I can get a month free. It's like, I've got an old Xbox 360 controller lying around. Sync that to your phone. Jump in. There you go.
Ready to go.
You don't even need to buy anything.
No.
That might be the best solution to start, is don't buy anything. Use what you got lying around.
And the best reality about this and cloud gaming in general, and we've said it millions of times before on the Sounds of Stadia podcast, if I said to you now, tell me the best PlayStation starter pack, you'd go, right, well, you need a console. That's going to cost you £450, £500. You might need two DualSense controllers. The games, yes, there's PlayStation Plus now, whatever that future looks like come June. But already the console alone, and obviously the TV, you need a TV to play. Let's not forget that. You need the monitor to display as well, which is, if you don't have a TV, if you just moved into a flat and you need like your gaming setup, you're talking about £600-700 for a decent, if not more.
I was actually about to say, I'm going to assume you have a TV, but quite literally, when I bought my PlayStation 4, I also bought a TV because my then flatmate, I moved out of my house in with him. He had a TV, so I didn't buy one. I didn't have a TV in my room. I had my PC.
Yeah.
I had a monitor, so occasionally I would hook up like my N64 to my PC monitor or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but you have a PC monitor
as
well.
When he moved out, it's like,
shit.
He took his Xbox, so I was like, I need a DVD player. I need a Blu-ray player. If not that, I was like, oh, I need a TV. So I bought them both together.
So yeah, so I think it's just we say starter pack, and we're like, oh, okay, it's £60 for the controller, $60-$70 or whatever, the Chromecast X1. But you can get a pack, you can save a bit of money. Realistically, it blows out of the water any other. If you want a Nintendo Switch, they are locked in at that sales price since day one. The Switch has not had a sale 5-6 years into its existence. You want to go buy an Xbox? Great. There's the two variations. There's the X and the S. But still, you're looking at dropping a good couple £100. And then the TV on top of that. Whereas if you've got a mobile phone, like most people do, you're good to go. Well,
again, the Switch is one where I'd actually highly recommend people shop around in things like eBay and stuff, because a lot of people last year bought a Switch for Animal Crossing and now probably haven't touched it since, so they might have played for like a month and then want to get rid of it, get the money back. So you might not get a brand new one, but you might be able to find a deal. For the PS5, I'd always go disc. It seems weird, but on that thing, places like Amazon and Argos or brick and mortar retailers, they need to at some point get rid of surplus stock of games. If you wait 6 months, games can drop by £30.
Yeah, but
doesn't happen with digital though.
True.
So but it's worth the extra outlay initially.
As a starter pack, though, got to factor in everything, haven't you? Really, to work it. It's all well and good just getting your PS5, but I mean, if you can even get your hands on a PS5, that's supply constraints is another thing. But yeah, there's a lot more to it.
That Chromebook you've got lying around collecting dust, that Chromebook you've got lying around that you bought just for occasional little bit of web processing, but mainly just browsing social media, use that. There you go. There's your starter pack for Stadia. And you just go mouse and keyboard.
Your phone. Everyone has a phone.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a phone, that's probably your priority before buying a games console.
Yeah.
Realistically. But good stuff.
I agree. But that's all we have time for this week. If you've liked the video, hit the like button and consider becoming a member for as little as 99p, where you get access to this very show. And if you've got a topic that you want us to discuss or anything else you want us to talk about, if you just want to hang out and chat with us occasionally, head over to our Discord. There's a link in the description in the server. Our Discord server, there's a link in the description. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Richie.
I've been Chris.
Quest completed.